Video. Hello, hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Good. I think a couple more people should be popping in soon, right?
Yeah, it looks like Jervy's coming in also, it looks like.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, just waiting for them. How was your week?
Sounds good. So far, I mean, it was an okay week. Work is hectic.
Nice.
But I'm still kind of catching up since I joined later. But,
Yeah, today's gonna be like today we're gonna be going over some bash scripting, but we're gonna go over like the introductory, some simple stuff. And then the next couple of classes go over in detail more stuff. You know, like basically like building a base, learning your ABCs and putting the words together, then making sentences and making poems. So today's gonna be going over the overview of stuff.
Okay, sounds good.
It won't be too crazy. It will just be a little bit more of a soft intro and some basic scripts that we can make together.
Yeah.
Should be under day 7.
Yeah, I've been catching up on with the recorded session, so at some point I should be fully caught up with the group, but
Yeah, no
still a
worries.
little behind. Thank you.
Yep. Hey Nana, how are you doing?
I was about to say, how's it going?
Oh, so who else is joining? We're just waiting for Jervy to join the class too, right? And so we got 3 people so far for the class. And let's see. All right, we'll give another like 5 minutes while I set up. See if everyone can join. All right, well, I guess we'll start since I think there's only 3 people today, right? Because I think Jervy is listening through Nana's speaker and stuff. So, all right. So if we go to the OneNote, we can see day 7. So pretty much today, cool. So today we can see that we're on day 7. Today's gonna be did I admit Jervy? Let me see. Um,
I'm in, thank you.
nice, no problem. How's everyone doing today?
Doing well in yourself?
Doing good, doing good. Just another day. Just another day.
Yeah.
It was a good week though, so can't complain.
Yeah. Very, very. I heard we going over bash scripting today.
Yeah, so basically it's gonna be like more of an introduction in some of the basic if else cases. And then the next couple of classes is gonna like basically build up on what we already know.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think that'd be the best way instead of having one class that's really consolidated, too much info. I think it's better to just have some information, everyone catch up, and whoever knows, whoever doesn't can catch up. The next class, everyone should be on the same level. And then from there, we just keep increasing a little bit of the complexity and stuff that we can do. Won't be too extreme, but it'll be more practical use cases for certain things that you can use it for.
Great.
Yep. Just give me a moment. I'm just trying to start up my machine real quick. I think I'm going to use Hyper-V today. But today, unfortunately, I'm going to be using IDE online. Having some issues at the moment. I can't connect to my server. I think I disabled the servers or something because I was messing with it earlier before I left my server area, but it's not a big deal. I will do it on a different console that I have. All right. So let's start. I'll share my screen real quick and then I'm gonna go over it. We are going to share sizzling specialist. Let's see. All right, can everyone see my screen?
I see it.
Okay. So we're gonna go over
Yes.
bash. Okay. So we're gonna go over the bash scripting. This is off of day 7. So bash is a Unix shell, which is a command line interface for interacting with the operating system. So bash scripting refers to the process of creating scripts written in bash language to automate tasks or execute commands. Bash scripts are used for a variety of purposes, such as system administration, automation, application deployment. So understanding the basic syntax of commands and bash scripts are written using a series of commands and statements, which are executed in sequence. I'm going to read over this and then I'll show you. Bash syntax is similar to programming languages such as C and Python, but with a focus on command line operations. All right, so a bash command typically follows the structure. If you're looking over at the notes, that's what I'm actually going over, the notes in the OneNote System Administration class. So we have the command, and then we have the options, and then we have the arguments. So the options are like the flags that you guys can put. And then the command is actually that like ls, cd, you know, everything that we know went over in the classroom and stuff. And then the arguments are arguments to the options, or arguments that you're giving, which I'm going to go over. So let me go from the beginning to our machine. All right, so as you can see here, I'm inside this virtual environment. So when we're doing commands, this is important because when you're bash scripting, you're pretty much using a lot of different commands in Linux, and you're just mixing it with different options and stuff and use cases. So as we see here, when we type in ls, so these are our options. As you remember in the past classes, we went over these are all different types of options. And then the argument, like this one doesn't need an argument. So an argument is what you want to go against. So I want to do ls-a against home, right? As you see, I get ls-a. If I want to do al, it does this. But if I don't specify the home, remember by default, this command itself will do it in my working directory. And the working directory I'm in right now is in /home runner /sibling, whatever the name is. Remember, this is not a typical name setup, but just for the example to show you. Remember when you're running the commands, right? You have the options, which are the flags, and then you have like the argument, which is the last thing, like where you want to run the commands against. So by default, if you don't have anything, you'll run it in the directory that you're in. All right. As we can see here, we'll go to the band pages real quick. See if I can pull this up. Let's see.
Can you just define argument again, please?
So pretty much an argument is anything that you're putting against the command. So if the command is cd, right, you have to give it an argument of where you want to move to. So the argument here would be /etc. That would be the argument, because you have to give something to cd, like to something.
Okay.
Yeah, like so basically, you can also, so there's two differences. So a parameter is the so example, I'm going to show you right now really quick. Let me open up the documentation so I can show you up, because for some reason it's not showing you up, showing up here. I'll show it to you real quick. Like I said, I have to use this for now. So if we go here, right, I'm going to show you guys something. So you guys can see this page. I'll make it bigger for you guys. Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Right. So you see here, this is the argument, right? Well, this is technically called the parameter because you're giving it a parameter, right? One of the parameters is the directory, right? When you type in the actual thing like /etc, this will be considered an argument. And these right here on the left side, these are considered options or flags. But remember, these brackets, they're optional. So that's why CD, you can run it by itself, because these brackets right here signify options. So when you see this, these is all optional. It's saying the CD command, and you can pick these options if you like, but they're not mandatory. You can also give it a argument, or give it an argument, right? And the argument is obviously technically you call it a parameter when there's nothing given to it. So like technically by default you call it a parameter, but when you're actually using the command, what you type in is called the argument.
Okay.
So all you have to know is that here we have either you can put flags if you like, as an example. This is like an example on how to use it. So these are the options or the flags. And then on the right side, this is the directory that you want to go against, right? So remember, these brackets, what do they mean again? They mean, go ahead.
Optional.
Yes, optional. So these are optional. These are not mandatory. So if you read here, this is the best thing when you read these things, right? The CD utility shall change the working directory of the current shell execution environment by executing the following steps in sequence. We don't have to go as deep. I don't know what this is, like an old school one, but usually it says here, if there's nothing given, it'll take you to your home directory by default. So here it is. It says if no directory operand is given and the home environment variable is empty or undefined, the default behavior, whatever. So it's saying here by default, it takes you to your home directory. This is probably like an older version, but like I said, when you type in CD, like the newer version of the man pages, just tell you that it will take you to your home folder by default. And if we go down here, we can skip this because this is like an older style one. Let me see if I can find a newer one because this is, I think I'm in the wrong section of the man pages. So let me get out of here real quick. This is definitely the wrong side. Wrong section. Oh, here it is. There's the correct section of the man page. So we see here, right? We see CD, right? Remember, these are optional, right? It says change the shell working directory, right? The working directory is where you're currently at. So change the current directory to dir. So dir is the option that you're giving it to. So whatever, this can be anything. This can be /etc/ whatever, right? So change the current directory to dir. The default directory is the value of the home shell variable. And let me show you what this means by that. So the reason when you type in CD, it takes you home, like you see that tilde, right? That means I'm in my home folder, right? The reason it knows it is because it reads our shell variable. So these are shell variables. If you type in env on your machine, you should get environment variables. Is anybody getting environment variables when you type in env, the env command? Just take your time. Just let me know. Type in env and let me know what results you get on your screen. You should get a list of variables. So right now we're just going over the commands and how they're read, how to use it slightly. And then I'm also showing you how the CD command is working and the shell variables. The shell variables are very important because you're going to be using this in shell scripts in the future. But what I'm really trying to tell you is that when you type in the CD command by itself, it looks at your shell variable, and that's how it knows where your home folder is. So when you type in env, this is your environment. So when you start your session, right? It has variables regarding your session. It'll have like the current directory that you're in. It will have your home directory. It will have certain information like that. So I can show you here. If I do env, right, and you guys use the grep command with the -i for case insensitive, you can type in home. We'll type in capital. Instead of getting all the variables, we'll do home. So if you see here, this is my home folder. So when I type in CD, it references this variable, which is called home. And the way you can see this, if you guys type in echo $home, you can get the same variable. So when you put a $sign in bash, it's referencing a variable. So if you guys can try to see if you can see the same variable, if you type in echo $home, you should see the variable for yours. It should be /home/ whatever your username is on your instance right now or on your VM. So let me know if you guys. Yep.
I'm currently within my root user, so it's showing me root.
It says /root, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So remember, these are your environment variables, and you have these environment variables because other programs use these environment variables to run commands or to do things. So that's why you have environment variables, because it stages your environment for you. So as you can see here, this is your home environment. When you type in CD, it says right here, it says the default directory is the value of the home shell variable. And if we go to the home shell variable is your actual home folder. And that's how I know to move you. So I can show you something really quick. If I type in CD, right? And if I type in PWD, you can see I'm in my home/runner folder, right? But what if I change my variable? So what if I did let's do home equals /home. And I'm not giving the argument to my actual folder, right? I'm just going to the home directory, right? So if I do that and I type in CD now, right? If I type in PWD, you see it takes me to home by default because it's referencing the environment variable. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Okay. So like I said, when we're reading this command, it tells you here what it's doing. The home shell variable is what it references. So whatever by default, it basically like what I did now is not going to be persistent. Usually automatically when you boot your system, it will dynamically allocate all that. So what I did is not going to be persistent, right? But the point of it was to show you what it's doing. So when we go down here, these are your options. You see you have different options. Obviously, you can have different ones like -L, -P, whatever it is. Those are your options. And you can put options if you like. If you don't want the options, you can just type in CD by itself. And then the other option is put a directory where you want to change it to. So by default, when you use a command, if you want to change somewhere else, you can use CD and then do the dir command that way. All right. All right. And now let's talk about the scripts. Since we already went over permissions and all this other stuff, this should be a lot easier for you guys to understand. So when we're running a script, we always have to have the execution bit on. So remember with permissions, you guys, that we had execution, we had different bits for different parts for like the user or the owner, the group, and for others. Remember, we had different execution bits. So in order for you to run it, you have to have it on for you to be able to execute it. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a very simple script. And the script, all is going to do is going to echo your name. That's all it's going to do, or echo hello world, something very simple. So the first thing we want to do with the text editors, I know we haven't went over that, but we will go over that in the class after the bash scripting. But you guys can use Nano, and I'll use Nano along with you guys. So what you guys can do is do yum install Nano. If you don't have it, you use a -Y to automatically install it. I don't think I have it on mine. I think you guys have a CentOS. So CentOS should be using the Yum package manager, or you can use DNF too. That's the newer version. But I'm going to use apt-get. I think I'm using a different version of it. So I'm going to try to install it. See if you guys have Nano installed. That way we can go over the example really simple.
Sorry, what is the command again to check and see if it's already installed?
You can do RPM-Q Nano, and this will tell you if it's installed. Yeah, mine's messed up because mine's not a real environment. Mine's a little playground to do bash scripting and stuff. So if you type in RPM --Q Nano, what do you guys get?
Yeah, I don't have it installed. I thought I did, but I just
Okay.
remembered I switched
No problem.
servers.
So just type
So I
in,
need to install it.
yep, type in yum
So sorry.
install
Mhm.
Nano -Y. It should work for you, but it's not going to work for me. Mine's okay because I don't need Nano because I can do it a different way. But I already know all the commands memorized. How to save it on your side.
completed on my end.
It's already installed?
Yes, it says complete. Yes.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is type in nano, and then type in script.sh, and then you type in enter.
And whenever you want to go into Nano, this is how you enter it by doing the script sh.
Yes, so basically, since the file doesn't exist, I'll make it for you dynamically. So you type in nano, and then you type in the name of the file, which is script.sh, is the script that we're gonna be making today.
Okay.
Yep. And for me, it's fine because I can actually do it from over here. Let me show you. Mine's different because, like I said, mine's over here. So when you do nano, like the text editor, I already have a text editor open on this website. It's made a little bit different, so don't worry about how it's made with this one because it's kind of totally different. But when you use nano, now you should be able to type stuff. Are you in the nano text editor? You should have options on the bottom. On the top, it should have the name of
Yeah.
the file. Cool. You're in there now? Okay, awesome.
Yes.
So now what we're gonna do on the top, right?
And I have a quick question. What you're about to show us, is this something that you can also do in the VI editor as well, or no?
Yes, you can do all this
Okay.
in the editor. The only difference is when you're doing these things is that you have to keep in mind that the options to write, save files, and to delete things is a little bit different. That's it.
Okay. Yes, I think I'm assuming you go over how to save and all of those things for Nano,
Yes,
but I'm looking like it's straightforward.
that's really easy. Yeah, you just put control X, and then it says, "Do you want to save it?" You press Y, and then it asks you if you want to change the name of the file. If you want to change the name of the file, and you can literally put there that if you want to change it or not, but usually you don't. You just press enter again.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So right now, since right here, we're gonna do the shebang. So what this is telling it, when you run the script, it tells the system what to use. So if you want to use Python, right, you'll use Python to interpret the script. But we're gonna use bash. So you can do /bin /bash on the top of the script. So #, exclamation mark, /bin /bash. And once you do that, let me know.
What's after the £? I can't make it out.
Oh, it's a shebang exclamation mark.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Is everything good now?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're gonna write a comment. So how you write a comment is you put the comment sign in the front of it, and then the comment is gonna be ask the user for their name. I'm gonna make this a little bit open, that way you can see it. So we do this, and the reason why you want to do this is because you want to be descriptive of what the next what the command is gonna do. So above each command, I like to put comments so I can kind of keep track of what it's doing. All right, so remember, this is the comment. It's not going to do anything and won't read it. It's just there for users or for people who are reading the script, but it has no functionality whatsoever. And then after that, we're going to use the echo command. Remember, we used the echo command before. All it does is prints to the screen. So we're going to type in, what is your name? And then we're going to type in a question mark. So echo is going to print something to the screen. And the next thing after we do this, we're going to type in the read command. So what the read command does, basically after it's executed, it just reads what you type into the screen. So whatever you type into the screen, it will save it into a variable called name. So basically, anything that you're saving. So when you say Echo, what is your name? It'll read whatever you type, and everything that you type will be inside of a variable called name. All right. And then the next comment, I'm just going ahead a little bit, but you can follow along, and I'll wait to the end just to make sure everyone catches up. So the next comment is going to be greet the user by name. So after you do this, you ask for the name. You get the input for the name, like, asking it what is your name, and it's going to save that variable into the name variable. Remember that you can call it whatever you want, but I'm going to call it name. But remember, when you type in read, it just saves whatever characters you put in, and then it saves it into a variable called name. So the variable is like a box, and whatever data you put in there, it'll be in there to use later. And then the last thing you do is do echo, and then you do hello, and then you do $ name, exclamation mark, and that's it. So after you made the script, it should be good. Let me know when everyone catches up so I can save the file, and then we can learn how to execute the script.
All set.
Okay. Is everyone else ready? Once you have the script written, let me know so we can save the file together on Nano.
Okay, I'm done on my end.
Take your time. Since you guys are using the Nano
You
text
guys can
editor,
go ahead.
all right. So I'll still have this on the left side. Remember, I'm using Repel, so it's not like an actual VM because I have it at home, but I don't have access to it at the moment. So once you guys are at this point, you press Control X for the Nano. It will ask you if you want to modify the buffer. You just press yes for Y, and then you press Enter again because we already named the script.sh. So you press Enter. If you type anything after, the name might be weird. It might say temp something, but that's just a temporary name. So I wouldn't worry about that. You can just press Enter. And once you do that, you should go back to your prompt, your home prompt. All right. Was everyone
Okay.
able to save the file successfully?
Yeah, I believe so. It says modified at the top.
Okay. All right. You're at the command line now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, let me double check if mine's saved real quick because I'm not using a traditional type of editor. Yeah, my bad. Should put that cat. Nice. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna type in change mod plus X, and then you're gonna do it for your script. So script.sh. Make sure you do this, change mode plus X script.sh. And once you do that, let me know. Right now, we're just giving it the proper permissions for you to be able to execute the script. All right. Now that we add the execution bit to the script, all we have to do is run it. All right, and the way you're gonna run it, to put bash in front of it. Actually, no, I don't even have to do that. Make sure that you're in the directory and put the period /
Sorry, Paul. Sorry, there's like a delay on my end. Can you go back to the chmod
Oh.
command, please?
Yep. So change mod plus X, and then script.sh. Make sure that you're in the same directory where your file is being saved. So what I'm typing is the relative path, because you should be in that directory already with that
Okay.
with the file. Yep. And once you do
Yeah.
that, if you type in ls-l, you should see that color change into a green color.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I'm not on the machine now, but you can just type in period / script.sh and press enter, and let me know if you guys get anything. If you don't, then we'll type in bash in front of it, but it should work without the bash in front of it. And once you run it, you should get something like this. What is your name? And let me know if you guys got that. All right, is everybody ready to move on?
Yes. But one thing though, when I tried to do the / for some reason it didn't show up. Oh, I spelled it incorrectly. Sorry.
You typed the
Sorry.
period? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, remember you have to type in period because it's denoting the current directory you're in. Because if you just type in / like this, it won't work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
And if you type in the command like this, it won't work either. And this is because when you type this command, it checks your path and see that this is the command, but it's not an actual command, it's a script. So it's kind of weird because when you type this, you expect it to work because it's in your directory, right? But it doesn't because it checks the path. So that's why,
Okay.
yeah. And if you type it like this, it checks from the root directory. That's why they put period. Hey, inside this directory, and it's called script. Yeah, that's how you have to do it.
Okay.
All right. Well, let me know when you run that. You should get something like this if it
Yep.
works. Okay.
Yep. What is your name? Yep.
Yep. So you can just type in your name and you press enter. You should get your first script done.
Nice.
Nice. Did it work for everyone? Did the script work for everybody?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So let's go over the script really quick and we're going to dissect it. Okay. All right. Does anyone remember what this does? The very first line, the shebang. That's what they call it.
So basically kind of tells the system that it's gonna run a script. Basically, it's like, and it enables the file to be a script.
Yeah, so pretty much this first line is telling it how to interpret it with bash. You know, like if you're using a Python, you put in Python. But or you're using Perl, you'll put in Perl. It just tells you how to interpret it, what language it's in, what language you should use, or what interpreter you should use to interpret the commands. All right. Do you remember what this is? This next line?
Number 3.
Yeah, line number 3.
It's a comment that's within the nano, not an actual step to be executed.
Yes. So all of this will work in any compiler, any text editor, anywhere. But just because the way Bash is, the language, you can put a you can put a pound sign in front of it, and it's just a comment, and this just tells it what the next command coming up is going to do. All right,
Okay.
all right. And what is the echo doing?
The echo is transferring what we're gonna write, the what is your name, into that file.
Yeah, so echo just prints it to the screen that you're on. So the terminal just prints it to the terminal. So we type in echo, what is your name, is gonna print it to your terminal. And then remember what read does?
I guess it looks for an input.
Yes. So read takes the input, and that's why you see the character change, and it's ready for you to type something in.
Okay.
And then the second one is, does anyone remember what that is, what the name is? Why do we put name after read? All right. So the reason,
It's a variable. I could be wrong.
yes, it's a variable.
Okay.
So this can be named whatever you like. I can call
Okay.
it ABC, person one, person two, whatever you want.
Okay.
So what happens is that what you type in gets stored into a variable, and in this instance, we're calling it name.
Okay.
All right. And on the bottom, when we type in echo again, after the greet user comment, we're dereferencing it. So what we mean by dereferencing is that we use that dollar sign. If I didn't have a dollar sign in front of the name, it wouldn't know it's a variable. It would just say hello name, exactly what you put in. So that dollar sign dereferences and says, hey, you know what? This is a variable. And that's how it knows it's a variable. And then whatever you just stored in there by the read command, it will show it to your screen once you echo it.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna make another script. So what you guys can do is try to, hold on, give me one moment. All right, we can make another script really quick. We'll make another one, and this one will be a clearing one. Yeah, so we'll make another script real quick. All right.
So
Yes.
making another script, should we change the name from script
Nope.
as
We can
or
just make
leave?
another
We're
one.
gonna put it into that. Okay.
No, you just leave it. Yeah, we can just make a
Okay.
brand new one.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Alright.
What we'll do, we can also call that same script like inside the script. It's pretty cool, but we'll leave that alone. Wait, so we'll make a new one. We'll type in nano, and then we'll type in let's type in user add .sh. And once you have that ready, let me know.
Sure. So Prof, while we're working on that, is there other ways to set the variable? Because I've seen in this example that you use read, but I've seen it, or I've done it different way. I know there are multiple ways to do it in or write scripts or etc. But let me just make sure, because I think I did it this way and it worked before, and I don't want to like stray off topic. I just wanted to make sure that it is the same thing, like it's doing the same action. So I did it before using like typing in command, like 1 and equals to, and giving it the name that I was trying to set the variable to.
Yeah. So yes,
that also works.
yes. I mean, you could do it that way, but the reason you don't in this instance is because the read command actually is accepting a variable afterwards. So like what you're talking about is pretty much doing name, equals whatever the variable is, like $1 if it's like a positional argument or something. But the reason we're doing it this way is because the read command, after after this is executed, right, anything that's put inside of there gets stored into this variable called name. This is a different use case, but yes, this is the way that you have to I guess, use it in the way. So let me show you something real quick.
Okay,
So let's
perfect.
find this. So it makes a little bit more sense. So no, this is the different type. I gotta read a regular. There's different man pages for different things. Okay, so let's see. We'll do name. Give me a second. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, so from here, so from the read, so basically you see read a line from standard input and split into fields. We're not gonna look at that, but pretty much at the end, it looks for, so if no name or supply, the line read is stored into a reply variable, you see? So technically, if you don't put like a name at the end, it doesn't have to be called name. You can call it person one, person two, whatever you want. If nothing comes after that, then the actual, it gets stored into a reply variable. So that's why we have to set the variable. This is a little bit different because this command here, after you put in the data, it asks you to put a variable name and name it whatever you want. If you don't put the variable name, then it names it reply by default. So if I did this, right, and I would have to use it like this. Because this command is a little bit, it's a little bit different how you're executing it. But yes, you're right. Beforehand, you can just type in like variables, like name equals whatever you want. Like I can put a John, you know, you can do this, whatever you like. But the way that this command is being used is a little bit different.
But it's the same use case, basically.
Yes, it's basically this same use case in terms of like giving a variable name, but except you're getting the name from read, and read is getting it from standard input, and then from standard input is getting put inside of here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird. Yeah, it's not like the traditional script, but the next one will be a lot more traditional. That what you've probably done.
Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah.
So I understand. I think I understand a little bit better
Yeah.
what to use that. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So the next script we're going to type in, remember, is going to be called user add.sh. And once you get there, let me know.
Then
Okay. So now once we're here, we're going to do a couple things. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to type in user one equals $1. And I'm going to tell you what that means. Once you catch up, I'm going to show you on the right side. You know, when I type in a command, right, and I do like user add, and then I type in John, right? This is called $1 because this is a positional argument because the position is number one. If I type in Beth next, this is $2. If I typed in Cindy, this will be $3. So same thing. If I do cd/etc/dev, this would be $1. This would be $2. Does that make any sense at all?
yes.
Okay. And the reason why is because when we use user add command, right, we have to put in John. This is called $1, which is the positional argument of one. But we're making our own user add command because we're gonna like add a little bit more stuff to it. So after we do this, we're gonna put in we can put here. We can put in first positional argument or arg. You can put first positional arg. Positional just means is the first one that you're putting in. And then the next thing what we can do here is pretty much what we've done always is user add, and then you put $user one. Because now this user one is going to here on the bottom. And $1 is the argument we give to the script. So the script is called user add.sh. So when you put a space and you put in John, it will be the $1. But we're saying this variable equals $1, and on the bottom, it's referencing this $1. And the way it works is when you type in like user add John, the first argument, it gets the name John gets stored in here. Since John gets stored in here, right? And we call the user add argument, we can see that it's down here. All right, any questions at all?
No.
Okay.
And if I understand clearly, so this was, you're telling the system to add, say for instance, John, if John is gonna be user 1, to add him first.
Yes. So
Okay, and is there a reason why you would like want to add this user first before the next?
So,
Within
no, I mean, that's fine. So like,
Okay.
example, this is just saying that the
Mhm.
first, like example, on the left side, you see user add, right? And type in John, right? Usually the command you put in only one person. Usually you could put 2, but if you do want to put 2, you would have to have another one under here, and you do user 2 equals $2. That's how you'll get the second argument that the person puts.
Okay. But if we had like a longer list, we could have even said like user $2 like 5, right?
Yeah, you could do that too.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like you could do this. So yeah, so pretty much like let me show you. So for the CD command, right, this would be $1. So let's say if I made a CD command, right, and I only had $1, this wouldn't work at all, because this wouldn't even exist, right? You would have to add each one, $1, $2. There's also a command that can go like over like a loop, like go over each command. But the way that we're doing it, is more like a simplified way. So when we do equals $1, all we're saying here on this side is that when we type in the user add argument, anything that we type in here will be considered as $1, the first argument that you're giving it. That's all it's saying. And the reason we're doing here, because we can use $1 here, technically speaking. What we're doing this is because when you're writing scripts, you want it to be understandable, like, for it to make sense. And then what we can do here, we can type in echo creating, and then you can put $, because remember we have to use a $sign to get the variable information, user 1. So whatever you type in here, it will be made. So we type in creating user $sign user 1. So pretty much you're getting the variable from here. If it's John, and then John's gonna go here. So instead of having $sign user 1, it will be his actual name. And then you put ... like it's loading. And then here you can put sleep for 2 seconds. You don't have to put this, but it makes it look more interactive. It'll be a little bit slower, but it's just the whole point. You can put sleep here for 2 seconds. And once you guys do this, let me know.
Can you explain why we put the 4 dots?
You don't have to put the 4 dots. It's basically just text. You can put whatever you want. I just put it here like it's loading, like it's creating.
Oh, gotcha.
Like giving a simulation, like, hey, in the back behind the scenes, we're creating your user. But really,
Gotcha.
we're just sleeping for 2 seconds to make it seem like something's going on.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we run the real command, which is user add and $sign user 1.
So lines 7 and 8 are really more of a design type of approach. It's not really, it's not a requirement, right?
Yeah,
Like
these two
easily went to line 9.
Nope, these two are not really a requirement.
It's just a design thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's just telling the person what's going on. Like you're just giving output to the user what's going on, pretty much.
Okay.
Yep. All right, and once you guys do that, now we're going to do echo And then we're gonna do checking if user exists. Because we want to make sure it exists afterwards. Right? And then what we can do here is we can do the ID command, and then we do $ user one. What this will do will check if the user actually exists. Let me know once you're done. Awesome. All right, so once it's done, remember, let's do the change mod X on the user add.sh. Once you guys do that, let me know. That way we can run the script together. Mine's gonna be named main sh, so don't yeah, don't worry about mine. Mine's gonna be weird.
Okay.
All right. Once you guys are done, you guys should run the script. So type in the period / user add .sh, and then type in whatever name you want, whatever you want to name your user, and then let me know what you guys get for your output. I'm putting mine for John because mine's different. Mine's on a different playground, it's set up different. I don't want to mess too much with the config. But once you run the command, I'm doing John. So this is what I'm getting. Creating John. Yeah, make sure you put sudo before you run the command. My bad. Or if you're root, you're fine. You guys can't run it here. Not a big deal.
Yeah, so mine's actually created the user because I'm under root, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What did it say on there? Creating user, and then it said checking if user exists.
Yes, creating John, checking if user existed, and then I saw like the group information and everything for the GID for John.
Cool.
So how did you execute the script again? You did.
Oh, so you can do period / and then user add.sh if you're in the same directory. Just make sure you have the execution bit on, and that's it. I can't do it on mine because I'm using a container, I think, environment and repel.it.com, so it's not like working properly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But where did you specify the user that you were creating? That's
well, for me, I put here John, but for you,
the first. Okay.
my fault. You have to put it here. This is the argument,
Right.
the first position argument. So whatever you
Gotcha.
want to call
Okay.
it, Sally, whatever you want to call it.
Gotcha. Okay, that's the step I missed.
Yep. Remember what we're typing here. This is a $1 because this is the first argument that's coming into the script.
Okay. I
And
see
this script only lets you do one user at a time, like you were going over earlier when Jervy asked about like if you had more, then you would do $2 all the way to however many users you wanted the script to allow you to input.
Yes, but yeah, it also depends on the command and how many it lets you see right here, only lets you do one. Looks like only one. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, so from it looks like you only do one, but if the command lets you do two, like if this was the CD command, we could do two or three or four.
Okay.
There's a way to grab every single output. Like for the CD command, it probably does a loop for all the, like it probably loops to all of them to infinity. Like it'll probably loop to see if it exists, and if like 10 of them exist, then it will stop there, and then it'll run CD on each one, something like that. So like if I did CD/dev and then /etc, you can see, oh, it's too many arguments, you see. But usually you can do it on your regular system.
Okay.
But yeah, so those are the dollar signs.
This
Alright.
is cool. So the initial way that I knew how to do it was setting that command, the one that I mentioned earlier. But this actually give you more control. Let's say if you were an admin, you would
Yeah.
not have to go into each script to kind of key in the user details to set it as a variable. So here you can just type the name of the script, execute it, and then just type the new staff member that you are trying to create. I
Yes.
see. Now I see the reason why we did it. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah, so what you're talking about is more like a hard-coded script, something that's
Right.
static that you can't change. This is more like a flexible script, because then you're
Yes.
not reliant. You can just change. All I need to do is just change here. If I want the second argument or the third, I can change it from here if I want. So
Nice, nice, nice. But one thing I did notice,
Yep.
okay, maybe later on we will get into it. Like setting the passwords and all those things.
yeah, we could do that too. So let's say we want to set the password for the script, right? We already made the user. We can do the same one, but we can do a user del. It wouldn't be that hard. You just have to make another script, copy and paste, and make it just like this, to be honest. But there's a script where you can change the password to, which I will show you real quick. I'm gonna check on Google because I know it's open SSL. I think it's -n, and then I think it's user add -p. Try to remember the syntax on those -p dot. I'll show you what this means so you guys can understand it. $-p. It was something like this. We'll do it with MD5 hash string. Let's see. So want to check it real quick so I can show you guys how to do it. You don't want to do this. It's definitely not a good way to do it. So we have OpenL-1 password string. Nice. Okay. Oh yeah, you can do it this way too. So I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. So we're going to go open that script up again. All right, nice. Beautiful. This is how you do it. This is the real way to do it. Okay. So go back to the script when you guys are ready.
Yeah, over here.
Yep, I'm in it.
Okay. So what we can do is do like a if case, like a if else case or whatever on it. So pretty much what it will do, it will take the argument and it will pretty much ask for if and else. So let me think how I can do this. Zena. All right, so what we're gonna do. The first thing is we're gonna type in. Let me see. You know what? I think we can change the script. Okay. So go all the way to the bottom, and then we'll just delete everything. We'll just start. We'll just start with the little tilde on the top. That's it. All right. We'll just start like this. It should be pretty much empty, and we'll make. It's gonna be a little long script, but it'll be a pretty cool script. Let me know when you guys are ready.
So in the same original main script, we are just deleting everything and starting all over, leaving only the
You
first
know
one.
what? If you want, you can make a new file if you want. It's up to you. Whatever is the easiest one. But this one is gonna have functionality where you can actually say you want to delete or you want to add a user, and it will use the correct command depending on what you type.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm gonna
So
use the
I'll
same
create.
script.
Yeah.
Yep. Just delete
Alright.
everything, and once you get to bin bash, let me know. Like basically the only thing you should have is line 1. That's it.
Gotcha.
So I'm guessing we're about to create a script. Seeing that he asked about the password, we're gonna
Yeah.
do some type of like verification step within it or something that would prompt the person to input the password.
We can do that too.
I mean, don't go, of course. I'm just asking.
No. We can make it as flexible as we want.
Okay.
So that's what we'll do. We'll make it very flexible.
Okay.
This is like the word. There's not the best way to do it because it's gonna be like a visible password. But I'll show you guys what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Of what you can do. As long as no one sees your terminal and your session, you should be fine. But this is one way to do it. So first we'll do it without the password, and then we'll add the password in to see if the script works. Once the script works, then we can add the password functionality, like to add the password on demand.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Ready whenever you are.
All right. So the first thing we'll do a comment on here, and we're basically telling you what we're doing. We're going to be prompting the user for an action, right? And the action will be delete or add or delete. So after this, we're going to type in echo. What would you like to do? And then once you do that, you'll put this add. I'm going to make this smaller so you guys can see it too. Add or delete. And then make this wider here. There it is. So we can see here, we're doing echo. What would you like to do? Would you like to add or would you like to delete? All right. And then now we're going to do read action. We're going to call it action. Remember, there's a variable. You can call it whatever you want. So what this is doing, you're going to type in add or delete, like exactly. So it's going to read the action. Okay. Now we're going to do an if and else statement, or if statement pretty much. We're going to do if the user wants to add a user, then we're going to do this script or this action. So let me know once you get here so I can explain. So we're prompting the user for an action. So the first thing that they're going to see when they run the script is like, hey, would you like to add or delete? And then that that string is going to be saved in the action variable. All right. And since it's being saved in the action variable, basically we can go against it. We can read to see what's in it, right? Because we don't know what's in it. From the script view, they don't know. That's why we're saving whatever they type into the action. So now we're going to do if, and then we got to use these brackets, these square brackets, if, and then you got to put space. So in Bash is weird. Other programming languages, there doesn't have to be space, but in Bash, you have to have spaces in between the words and stuff. It's kind of weird. So we're going to do if action, right? Because this is going to be the variable, is equal to add, put a space here.
Okay.
Okay, once we do that, then we're gonna type in here, then. So if they do type in add, right? Then we want to prompt with the comments, right? We're gonna put comment here. We're gonna prompt the user for a username. I'm gonna misspell that, for the username. That'd be easier. So we're gonna prompt for the username. All right, so what we did now, we ran the script. You want to add or delete. It says if they type in add, then we're going to add it. And the way we do it we're going to now, after we do prompt for the username, and we already got the information, we're gonna type in echo, enter the username to add. And then all we're going to have to do here is do read username. Because we're reading the username from the input that the user gave us. And the next one, we're going to do add the actual user, because now this is the easy part. Now all we have to do is add the user. And then we do sudo user add $, username, because that's the variable that we made. And then actually we can set the password too, so we can do that actually on demand to make it easier. So sudo password $, username. Actually, hold on. That's my bad. So space here, and then from here we're gonna put set the users.
Sorry, so based off of where you're actually doing this script, do you have to put sudo here?
Yeah, you can, because if you're going to be running it as you can use sudo, because if you have the person who's running it should have sudo privileges, so they can just type in their password, or it should run without asking a password. That way it's easier for it to work, or else it's not, because the command is not going to work properly if you do it this way, so we have to put sudo in front of it.
Okay.
Yep.
And even if the person is en route?
If the person's en route, it shouldn't affect it. You can
Okay.
you don't have to put sudo on there. You can take it off if you like. Well, this is more like a universal script if somebody else is using it, admin is using it, but you can, it shouldn't do
Right,
anything.
okay. No, that makes
shouldn't-
sense.
Yeah, it
If
shouldn't.
someone else that's
Yep.
not root user comes in and runs that script, they need if they're a sudo, if they have sudo access, then it'll still work rather than if the sudo wasn't added to the script.
Yeah, if sudo wasn't added to the script, then the script's not going to work properly.
Unless it was root, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because if they did have sudo privileges and it'll work, and if they didn't, then it wouldn't work.
Elementary school.
But if you don't add sudo at all, then it's not going to work as as expected. So yeah.
Exactly, okay.
So once you do that, on the bottom, we're gonna print the success message. Print a success message. And then we're gonna echo $, user, $, username. Added successfully. Once you get to here, let me know. All right.
Okay, done.
Yes. Any questions?
Yes. If this is the last step, I just want you to kind of just run over everything that we just did.
Yes. There's one more. There's a couple more steps involved.
Okay. Yep.
One for like error message, if there's like an error message, and then if they want to delete. So the delete one is the same exact one as this one, because this is just adding. So let me make this smaller. We'll go over this real quick. All right. So the first thing you're doing, right, when you run the script, the first thing that's going to happen is going to ask you, do you want to add or delete? Right. Then the read command is executed. When the read command is executed, it's waiting for you to type something into the terminal. Whatever you type, add or delete, it will be saved into this variable called action. And then it will say if action variable is equal to add. So if someone types in add, then it's going to echo for enter the username to add. So if it's not equal to add, then these commands won't run at all. So one of the commands is going to run if it is add. It will say enter the username to add. It says read, and then it will store whatever you type in to the variable called username. And then it will add the username that you specified, the password for the username that you specified, and then at the end is going to echo user, whatever the name is, John, added successfully. That's all it's doing.
Perfect. Understood.
All
Okay.
right.
Yep.
So now this is the second use case. This is if they type in, what if they type in delete? Now you're gonna type in elif. And then the same thing with the brackets and space, the same exact way you typed it on top. It's the same exact way. And then this time you're gonna do equal.
And what does the EL if mean? Like what does it
Else if.
else? Oh,
Yep. These are like options. So else if you put, and then at the end you put else. Else is like the last option you put. Else if are like other options and like else if this, and then at the end, if nothing matches, and else is the last one is ran.
also, I noticed you did some type of spacing. Does it matter how you space when you create these scripts?
Yes, you have to have at least one space, or else it doesn't work properly. You can put 2, 3 spaces, but as long as there's a space. If you have it like this, it won't work properly. It's just, this is how it reads it. I guess like when Bash is ran, the interpreter reads it in a certain way. It looks for those spaces. I've had issues with it. So the best practice is just leave a space between what you're typing, especially for these conditional checks.
I was the actual, I mean, the initial, the space before the actual, like the.
I always put a space in front of it. I've had some weird issues with it, so I always by default put space, make it more legible, then also to just prevent issues. Other programming languages are a lot more nicer, but this Bash, you know, it's a very old language, but also it's very particular, so it's better just to. I usually put a space in front of it on there.
And same applies to like when you type echo and EL if.
Oh, for echo for sure. Because if you don't have a space in echo, then it's echo won't be completed as one word. It'll add on the other characters and will look for that command and it doesn't exist.
I think I'm talking about the initial space you have. You see how you have spacing?
Oh, here?
Yeah,
Oh,
right. Yeah.
That doesn't matter. No, that doesn't matter. I'm just doing
Okay.
it for just to make it neat.
Make it look okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And if there weren't multiple conditions, then this line 22 would start with else, right? The elif is for addition, like if
Yes.
your script has multiple conditions within it.
Yes, for the bash script, yes.
Okay.
Yep. We'll use else at the end. It'll be for error.
To kind of close off the if statement.
Yeah, well, the else statement we're going to use at the end is more like error handling. Like if they typed in something wrong, it'll give them an error message.
Okay.
Yep, I'll show you how it looks like. So now all you have to do is pretty much just copy and paste the top. I know you guys can't do it. I'll give you guys some time. So pretty much is the same exact thing as the top. The only difference on the bottom is that you're not you're just changing up a couple things. You're not going to add a password because you're deleting it. But we'll go through it together. So now we're going to do prompt for the username. Like basically you have to do this because remember, when they ask them, do you want to add or delete? They type in delete. The first thing they get in the command is this message. So you have to remember, for them, this is the first thing they're going to see, but for us, it's not because we're down in the middle of the command pretty much. So after delete, if the delete is seen, that word is saved in the variable, then it's going to ask for the username. So you're going to type in echo, and then over here we can type in enter the username you want to delete. Username, whatever you like, you can type in there. The next thing we're going to do read username, because remember we got to get the username of it. And then once we do that, we're going to delete the user. And once we delete the user, we're going to do sudo again. We're going to do user delete $, username. And then at the end, we're gonna print the success message. Once we do that, once you print the success message, it'll be the same thing as above, except it'll say deleted instead of added. So user, $ username, deleted successfully. And once we type this in, that should be done. That should be the end of the whole statement, because we're gonna end this one by putting the else statement. This will be the next comment. If the user enters an invalid, let's say, action. So if they don't type in add or delete, they should get an invalid action. We'll put else will be the last one. We'll print a error message. Put space in front of here. Make it capital. All right, so we're gonna print a error message, and then you can just type in echo, type in valid action. Please enter add. Sorry, we gotta use single quote. So for this part, we gotta use single quotes because we have double quotes closing it, so you can't use double quotes inside or it's gonna make an error. So delete. And then we type in FI, which will end the whole statement. And let me know when you get to the stage.
What's FI, or did you type something during error?
Nope, that's how it's supposed to be. And in Bash, you type in fee. You know, some other programming languages you type in other stuff, but this one you type in fee. This will end the whole if else statement.
Okay.
So this ends everything. So this is the very last thing you put after all your statements. You put in fee. So if I only had an if statement, you end it with fee. If you only had if and else, you put fee. So you always put fi at the end to signify that that's the end of the if and else statements. Once you guys have this, let me know.
And then how do you know, like, all of these actionable items, like the if, then, is there like a list of like the actions you could potentially do within a script?
Oh, so these actions, we made this up. So we gave it two options, right? We're asking the user, do you want to add or delete? You can literally put 1,000. You can literally do whatever you like. It's so flexible. So we
No,
just
I meant, sorry, I meant like, you know
The
how you type
commands.
in, yeah, the actual like if and like then, or what was the other one that you used? The fancy one, sorry, where's that? I wrote it
Read.
down.
Like read.
Oh, you
Yeah,
can
like,
use so many of them. Like there's so many.
okay,
Like I mean, we're just touching the tip of the iceberg today, pretty much. But here's a simple one. So you see the F and L statements. So these are all F. This is greater than. So you can there's shortcuts. So instead of typing like the greater than sign, you can type in GT as a greater than. And then less than, you can type in a LT.
okay.
You know, it gives you a little bit more details. So instead of typing, like I can see if the string is bigger than 3, so I can type in if let's say the user string is named string, right? If I say if string dash end is bigger than 4 or whatever the case is, like there's little ways you can do it. I can do dash D, it stands for directory. So you know how some scripts will be like it'll be like, let me show you an example. It'll say if if let's say $sign input is a directory, you know, this is checking if it's a directory. So you see here -d, say file exists and is in a directory. So some scripts have -d or have -z, but these are all shortcuts. We're gonna learn it in the upcoming classes. There's a lot of things like you can do. Trust me, there's a lot more.
And
to look
and
into.
these come with practice, or is there like
Practice,
okay?
practice, and
Okay.
familiarity.
So I think
Uh,
that gets to the core of her question. Like she's
Yeah,
trying to figure
yeah,
out how
'cause-
would you even know to use if and
Mhm.
then if and then
Oh,
close with
let me-
feed.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Let me explain.
Because even in my mind, it's like some of the actionable items that you put here, I would even think to put like so, you know, so this, so that. So how did you determine like you have to put if and then and not like so this is this? You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like, is there a list of
The
these items
syntax.
somewhere here?
got it. So pretty much is just the language of, so all programming languages have very similar things, like if and else statements, you have loops, you have while loops. So pretty much this is one of the foundations of like programming languages. So any programming languages, so let's say if I wanted to do this, right? The only way to execute this is by asking, it's an if and else statement, because if I says if statement is equal to add, then I can do this. I can also use case, which is a case. I can be like, if case is add, then I can do this. There's like a command where you can do case, you know, but the problem with that, it's not, it's a little bit different in what I'm trying to achieve, but you can do it many different ways. But this is I feel like this is the most straightforward way to do some of these commands. But how you know how to do it is by practice over time, and also learning the basics of like programming essentials, like learning about the if and else, the case statements, the while loops, things like this. Is very accessible on Google, and there's so many. Like this is the bash scripting. This is for bash scripting, and it talks about if statements, as you see here, if else, else if, and you have some other things. So most scripts you have some type of logic. Like if it's raining outside, then get umbrella. Else don't get umbrella. FI. So pretty much the if is just testing something. We're just testing whatever the user just typed is equal to add. So that's why we're using if here, is because we're asking, we're making a test. This is called a conditional. So if the condition is true, then we do this. If the condition is not true, or if it's equal to something else, another value that we're looking for, then you do this. If it's false, if the condition is false, then we have to do this one. This is the last one. If it's not add or delete, and it doesn't match any of the things that we're looking for, then we'll put else, because else will be the last message ever put. So if I did this, for example, right? If I did this, let me show you. All right, if I did this, if I did CD, and I did like this, right? This is the last else statement pretty much, because this doesn't exist. No such file or directory. So that's coming from bash, and then CD is also saying this doesn't exist. So like I said, it's all about if and else statements. So if I did CD / dev, right? It'll say if you get an argument, then it works. But let's say if I put something weird like this, right? You see too many arguments. So basically it's looking for certain conditions for it to be true. But I'm gonna like I said, this is just the first classes. We're gonna do a couple more classes, and we're gonna get more into depth, and then start mixing things around and give you some more guides to this, so it'll make more sense in the future classes.
Okay, so far so good.
Okay. All right. And whenever you guys are ready, let me know so we can run the script together. All you have to do is save it, make sure the execution bit is on, and let me know when you guys are ready to run it.
Can I see the ending of that script one more time? Maybe I missed it. For the ending, right? Where you say echo invalid action, please enter add or delete. any reason why you use the, instead of the double quotes, you use individual single quotes for the add and delete?
Because I'm trying to emphasize add and delete with quotes. And if I use double quotes here, then echo will be messed up because the first argument is going to end here. You see, it'll end right here. Like if I put double quotes here, then from here to here, echo will think it's a statement. And then anything after this will be garbage. Because pretty much it won't understand what I'm saying. So if you want to use quotations, if you're using double quotes on the outside of the command, and the inside you only can use single quotes, or else the pairs will get messed up because they're all pairs. Like they all have to match with each other. Like the double quotes have to match with something. So if you see here echo $, it looks for these two quotes. You see how these two quotes match? They have to match. And if it doesn't match, the command isn't complete, number one, or number two, it can also cause it not to work correctly. So since I want to use quotations, then if I want to use quotations, then I have to use single quotes because it won't let me use double quotes in the middle of it. So that's why I did it that way.
Got it. Thanks.
Yes. So when you guys run the command, what I would like you guys to do is when it says what action you want to do is, example, if I run it now, you see, if I do this, if I type in anything I want, you see how it says here, invalid action, please enter add or delete. You see how it has the quotations?
Yes. All right.
The single quotes, yeah. So I have to put this, so for me to have quotations, since there's double quotes on the outside, I have to use single quotes on the inside. Because I wanted the quotation on there, but the only way to do it is to use the single quotes for this one. All right. Let me know when you guys are ready to run your command. Try to add somebody and then try to delete the same person. And let me know what you guys get.
Okay. I think I might have an issue. Maybe let me see if I can share my screen. Maybe I did it wrong.
Yeah, go ahead, share your screen.
I think you disabled it.
Hold on, let me see if I can do that.
Yeah, because I'm getting an error, syntax error near unexpected token else.
You can do it now. You can share now, I think.
There we go. Okay, so let me just clear this and then try it again. You can see the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then you say run the script. All right. Since I already had the user, I'm gonna try to delete it first. But then I get this error. So let me go back and open the script and then maybe we can take a look at it together.
Yep.
Okay. Did I mess up somewhere?
It looks good so far. Okay, you use a I see you're using a double colon. You're supposed to use a semicolon after the else if, the first else if. You see after the delete before the then?
All right. So under the delete section or?
Yes, so go to the else if section and then go all the way to the end where the then is. Those are
Oh.
double colon. You put double
Gotcha.
colon instead of double semicolon.
Oh, insert.
Yep.
Okay. And then let's save it. Okay. And then let's try it again. Okay. I think it was test admin. Oh, okay.
And then you can type in ID test admin to see if it exists.
ID test admin. Nope.
And now you can add him back again.
Okay, so we're gonna run that main script again, and then this time we're gonna do add, and then we're gonna do test admin. Oh, this is real cool.
Yeah.
But so just give it any password. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we could probably do the same thing, right? Yep.
Yeah, but you see how like it was telling you about the else statement, which is on the bottom. But you see sometimes in scripts, like the compiler, when it's reading all that stuff or the information, you know, or the interpreter, you see it was one little mistake could mess up the whole script.
Right.
One little thing, a space or something that you mess up, and it wasn't even showing you where the issue was. It was showing you somewhere else.
Right. It said line 37.
Yep, and it wasn't line 37.
Right.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that sometimes it is not as smart sometimes. So
Mhm.
yeah, you know, sometimes that's why, you know, it just, you know, looking over and taking your time. I've messed up on things that are so simple you wouldn't believe. So yeah, that's pretty.
Especially if it's a semicolon and then
Yeah, double.
right. It could
Yeah,
play
that
a
was a
little.
good catch. I was
Yeah.
like, I couldn't even tell that it was not a semicolon.
Yeah, I can
Yeah, I
tell.
don't think I would have been able to figure that one out ever.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean that's when you do it all the time, you know. Like right now, I'm working at home. I'm setting up a TFTP environment on my Linux servers, but I do everything the hard way. So I literally do everything through the command line. So like I have like 4 servers in my KVM, no GUI, no nothing. So all the servers that I use, everything is through the command line. Like I make a storage pool where all the memory is at through the command line. I provision, I make the servers from the command line, everything like the network,
Mm.
the virtual networks, everything is through the command line. So I'm making a TFT boot off the command line too. So when the server boots, it downloads the image and then it's able to boot to CentOS or whatever I want it to. Right now, I'm playing around with it. It's a lot of steps. You have to make a DHCP server, all this other crazy stuff. But like that's where you learn the most is like when you're using it every day and you're practicing, you do things the hard way, things will be easier for you. Do things the hard way. That way, when there's times where things are easy for you, it'll be a piece of cake. You know, like other people say, "Oh, this is hard." But for you, it's
Right.
gonna be easier. So you always have to do things the hard way, you know? Like if you're used to like carrying heavy things up and down the stairs every day, right? And then somebody else does it one time, then oh, this is hard, but for you it's simple. You're used to it, you know, it's something
Right.
that's you're accustomed to.
Got it.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
like
Good luck
going
to
with long division instead of getting a calculator.
Calculator, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean
For
it's
sure.
yeah, I mean it's not bad. I mean, I think it's good to remember the underlying steps. I mean, at the data centers, you know, right now they're putting a lot of automation. So people don't learn Linux, they don't learn like a lot of the scripts that check the host, they're like bash scripts. So people
Hmm.
doesn't even know how it works. So what if the automation is broken? Then what do they do then? Like they don't know how it works on the underneath it. You have to also learn the essentials. That's why a lot of like courses and a lot of things in life, they always show you the basics. But people's like, why do I need to know the basics? Because if you're developing new technology or you're improving it, or if anything ever happens to the technology you're using to make it easier for you, you're not learning. Like basically, I think it's essential to always learn the basics of things before you learn using scripts and using all this stuff, because then you know it'll expand your knowledge and it'll help you and stuff in other fields too.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because I learned a lot today.
Yeah, this was good.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
Yeah, I
Because it
agree.
even changed my perspective of what I originally knew. and how the way you just showed us actually made it much easier.
Yeah. So yeah, today was pretty much simple. It'll be day 7, but I'll do day 7, 7.1 for the next class. This is day 7, but next time will be day 7.2 or day 7.1. But
Okay.
we're gonna go over next class. We're gonna go over the different flags and the conditionals. We'll go over more about variables, and we'll go over more about structure and different types of bash scripts you can make. So we'll just play around with that next class and talk more about the conditionals that what you guys were asking, and the case and the loops. We'll talk about loops and all the other stuff.
Great. Now the fun begins.
Yes, for sure. Once you learn the Linux commands and all that stuff, it'll be a lot more simple.
And is there, I know you had the interface that was like numbering each line of the script.
Oh,
That's the only, yeah.
I think there's a command in Nano that you can add the number lines to it. If you want to see the number lines to it. Let me double check it. Hold on a second. I can tell you it right now. It's like a little thing you can do. Number lines. I don't know. I think I saw it. I did it before. I haven't used it in a while. I think you can use. Let's see. So yeah,
So it would have to be it would be like a type of command that needs to be installed, and then it will start showing all your scripts with line
yeah.
numbers.
So so what you can do is go to the Nano. And then hold on. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I think it's called set line numbers, something like that. How do you so let's see. Try to remember. Yeah, so you guys can probably look at this. I'm not sure. I haven't done it this way, but I think there's a shortcut. There's a thing called shared nano. There's like a file, and you can set line numbers by default, but there's also a shortcut. There's also a shortcut where you can use, like, copy or whatever you want to use. Let me see line numbers. I think I just found it. I think I just found it. Where was it? G++, Control C. Okay. All right. I think you just have to change one of your configuration files if you want to add it dynamically. I know for Vim's a lot easier. Are you in the Vim right now, or are you using Vim or VI? Sorry.
Yeah, I was using VI. I believe it was set number once you bring up the command.
Yep, and then you can do
Okay.
no number and it'll delete it also.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that's
I
for
just
the
think
Vim
it's
or VI.
easier to read through as well when it's numbered.
Yeah, so for yours, I think you have to type in something like this. Let me share it with you guys.
Okay.
I think you have to put it inside the so basically the pre-existing configurations. So you have to include set line numbers as one of the variables or one of the things in there. So I have to remember where it was, but I know if you Google it, you could find it. But I forgot what it was, but I know you can add that option on there if you want. Should be easier.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions for the script today at all? Could it make sense at all?
Yes, it did. It definitely did. I don't think I have any questions.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions at all about today's class? If else, bash, any other things that we did today, or why we had to do it?
No questions. It was a pretty good class. Very detailed. I really like how interactive it was today. I could say that I could confidently walk away from this and, do it on my own and practice on my own.
Yeah, I would recommend you guys practice on your own and try with different commands, like just play around with it, try different prompts. Just basically what you can do is just do the same thing that we did today with the users, but you can make it more interactive. You can delete, you can add, and then at the end, you're gonna be like, okay, printing out the ID, whatever you want to do, you can definitely do it that way. If you want, you can do 2 users at the same time. So, there's ways you would have to change it just a little bit, but there's many things you can do. You can make a brand new script And then you're gonna be like, if you want to add more than one user, you can add it up to 2 people or whatever. And then use $1 for the first user, $2 for the first user, and then you use the user add command for $1, and then you use user add for $2. You know, so because those commands, remember user add, the way that command is, you only can add one user at a time. Some commands you can do multiple inputs, but you know the user add is one, so you could do it that way too. You can add multiple users. You can also do it off a list. Let me show you something real quick so you guys can see. For an example, so I'm going to show you an example. Where you can use a list, right? So what I can do here on my shell, right?
I'm not sure if your screen is showing.
Yep, you're right. So what we can do here.
Am I the only one that can't see it?
It's not sharing yet.
Yeah, I'm not sharing it. Yeah, so
Oh.
sharing it right now. So what we can do here, as we can see here, we can do echo. I can do Billy, and then we can put Sally, and then I can put Leo, and then we can put this into a file called users.txt. All right. So if you guys want, you guys can do this one too. You guys can follow along. This will be the last one, so I can show you an example. So we can do echo Billy, Sally, Leo, and then we can do the greater than symbol to user.txt. And what I'm going to show you is how to use a loop. So we're going to do a loop, and we're going to add all these users at the same time. Once you guys have the file ready, let me know.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're going to do for, remember, this, you can name it whatever you like. You can name it name, you can use name it user. So I'm going to say for user, and then you type in, and then we're going to do $cat users.txt, and I'll explain this to you that way bit by bit, so you guys can also follow along. So the reason why we have to put $, this is making a subshell. So right now we're in a shell, right? Like we're technically in the shell right now. We're talking to the shell, like typing in commands, hello, ls, all that, right? The reason why we have to do this is because we want to run the cat command on users. And when you run the cat command, what happens? You get these 3 users that we put in there, right? We get Billy, we get Sally, and we get Leo. So what we're saying is for user, this is a variable, you can name it what you want. So for user in, and we put this $, because it's a subshell. What it's going to do, this command is going to run in a subshell. So it's going to run in a different shell, and it's going to get the output. And whatever the output is going to put it right here. So this command will be the same thing as doing this. For example, Billy, Sally, Leo. But we don't want to do this because what if the user's text gets updated? You know, what if it changes? We don't want to have a static script, right? If this was a script, we don't want it static. So when we type in that command that I typed in earlier, $ with the parentheses and cat, is doing the same thing as we're doing now. Same exact thing. So we want to type in $cat, $cat, and then we type in users.txt. This is the name of the file. So that's what this is doing. So it's running this command in the subshell, and it's giving you all the users you put in that command. And then the next thing you do is you're going to put this semicolon, and then you type in do. Now, this is the action, what we wanted to do for each thing. Remember, this is going to run one by one for each person that we put. For every argument you put is doing a loop. So for each person is going to do the command once. So we type in user add, right? $, user, because this is what we called it here. If you named it I, G, whatever you named it, that's what it'll be. So you put the $ user here, and then you put semicolon, and you put done, because you're done with the command. And when you press enter, let me type in ls. Okay. Whatever, for you guys it should work, but for me it's not working. All right, so let me know when you guys get to the stage. This is only after you make the users.txt file with Billy, Sally, and Leo.
Okay, I didn't get an error message.
You didn't?
It looked like it worked,
Okay.
but how do I test it?
Oh, just type in ID and then type in Billy and see if you see anything.
Okay, ID Billy. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. That signed UID and
Yeah,
GID.
you can type in ID Billy, ID Sally, ID Leo to see if that works. Yep, you can type all of them. So type in ID Billy, space Sally, space Leo, and you should see a user. Or you should get 3 outputs.
Okay, so I wasn't able to run it for all 3, but let me see if I
Cool,
could
no
do
worries.
it individually.
You can also do cat etc password, and it should show you on the bottom also. So all the new users come up on the bottom usually. If you do cat etc password, you should see that.
Yeah, when I did it individually, it worked. But let me do cat.
Space / etc password, you should see the brand new users on the bottom.
Okay, yep, I see it.
Now run the same exact command, you guys, but do user delete. The same exact one, but put user del, DEL. And then let me know if the user got deleted.
Okay, it looked like it did. ID Billy. Yes, it did.
Okay, nice.
So what we just did, right? Did it pull up the script that we did in any
No.
way?
Nope, nothing to do with our script. This is something else. This is just a command that we ran. This is technically a command, but this is using scripts, using loops. So this is called the loop. So we did for user in, and then it read that file, and then it looped for each user. So each user it added individually. It added each user individually. So it does one by one. So all we did is just use a script, or not a script, but really a command that pretty much just added all the users for us from a text file that we had.
So just me thinking ahead, can we take this command that we just ran and put it in our script?
Yep, you should put in your script. It can work also. Yep.
Oh, okay.
But what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to change this, and you're gonna actually have to put. If you did that right, you don't want to hard code it. So what you would want to do for this instance, right? You would have to put right here $1, and then $1 will be the file that you're referencing. Use.txt, whatever you're referencing to delete. But you have to do it like this.
Okay, so I think maybe that one we will need to go into it a little bit, maybe next class.
Yes, we'll do that.
Yeah, I'm a little confused there.
Yep, no worries. We'll go over the next class so you can understand. But this is just showing you can also do multiple users at the same time.
Yeah, that definitely, that first script, command that we ran, it worked for me for sure.
Yep. All right.
Cool.
Any other questions for today's class? Today's a homework. We'll just kind of go over the same script that we ran, play around with it. That's pretty much, try to remember it, see if you can play around with your own. That's really it. Because I just want to build on the foundations, and then I can give you guys a project. Like it'll be like a final project for bash scripting, and then we'll go more into like security and some other stuff.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right. Well, if there is any other questions, then we can conclude the class.
Thank
Yes.
you. Y'all have a good rest of the weekend.
You
Yep.
too.
You too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.